would you please welcome His Excellency to join us on stage? A big round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Well, I was very excited to have an opportunity to first meet His Excellency, because it is rare to find an executive anywhere in the world who brings together both public and private service with such love and energy and care and discipline. And so with this portfolio that you have, Your Excellency, I mean, when you think about what you might have thought of were simple tasks coming from the private sector and going into the public sector, I often gush about the initiative that was taken here in Abu Dhabi around streamlining, making it a more attractive place to be. And the thousands of documents and all the barriers to entry that we all naturally feel when we're trying to set up business or come here to a new country or a new region, that was one of the first things you took on. Could you talk about the experience of how that seemed like a natural and simple thing to do, but it wasn't easy?
First of all, thank you for having me, Mark. And I'm very humbled with the words that you mentioned earlier. In 3 weeks from now, it will be my 3rd year as a public servant in the government. Yeah. As you know very well, I come from a private sector background. Coming at a point of time in Abu Dhabi's transformation, to me, is a privilege. A privilege not only to serve Abu Dhabi, but also to serve leadership of Abu Dhabi's aspiration. And this is one of the things I was thinking about when you were talking about admiration and who you're admiring. And when I see my leader, my boss, what he wants to achieve, and what muscles he wants to bring around him, what change he wants to make, this gives me more drive that we all believe in what he really wants to achieve. First of all, it was a mind shift and a mindset. Everybody talks about government entities being legacies, very hard to change. People are in their soft spot, comfort zone, different words. That's true. It took me 1.5 years to have a deep dive, pull my sleeves up, get into operations. Even though I am at a strategic level, I have a great team. It took time to build that team. And you also mentioned earlier trust. Trust was very important, to be honest with you. And trust comes with accountability. And if you don't have accountability, you don't get trust, and the other way around. And this is how I see it.
It's huge.
The economic department of Abu Dhabi, yes, it is the regulator, developer of the economic sector in Abu Dhabi. And it has to work hand in hand with other government entities as well. I don't own the GDP. I'm an enabler to increase our GDP growth. But by doing that, I need to work with other stakeholders, and those stakeholders as well. So you're not working with, it's not about only your employees or your team. The level of frequency of working together with other stakeholders is very important. But that's probably for another subject.
Well, it's hugely material because he is held accountable for a KPI or a goal to achieve economic growth in a nation, and that can only be done through and with all the other ministries. That's the only way that you could to
You're
accomplish
absolutely
that.
right. And the first, coming back to your previous question, is that the first things that we looked at, okay, how to make Abu Dhabi, from an ease of doing business, from a livability, from attracting talent, from. At the beginning, we had to go back to the drawing board, to basics, really going back to basics. Getting rid of all non-essential regulatory requirements is something was important for us to move. But letting the team that have already built those regulations over the last 10 and 15 years, there was that reluctance of changing it. Because this is what they were taught how to do it, this is how they built it, and they think this is the right way, and they will never, ever change it because that's the mindset. As a segue as well to the mindset, it's very important for leaders to, everybody talks about culture. You need to change culture, you need to change mindset. That's true, it takes time, but it only comes when you change yourself from the top down. People need to see you being part of that change. I can give instructions, I can give directives, but if you are not being part of that change and on top of everybody, this is not going to work. By removing over 26,000 requirements, 26,000 requirements within 4 months or 6 months, and those requirements were not just erased instantly. No, we had to sit with stakeholders because those are part of stakeholders' requirements. Why do you need that? Why you need to change that? Challenging them. Was important for us to take that step because it was tedious, it took a lot of time, but at the end, this is what made a big change in increasing the number of licenses in Abu Dhabi, attracting more businesses to come and move from other places. Again, going back again to people. People being in their comfort zone, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I know this is probably a statement that everybody knows around this table, but pushing people out of their comfort zone is, or how to push them out of the comfort zone is where the sense comes in, to be honest with you. Again, trust is very important. Change from leadership, top down, from a culture point of view is very important. But accountability is more important. And not micromanaging. I don't believe in micromanaging. I believe in output or outcome-driven management. I give a space or an area of decision-making to the person, regardless what this person is. Could be a manager, assistant manager, a normal employee. Everybody has to have a space of decision-making. Without that, you cannot create or have creativity. You cannot come up with new ideas. You cannot come up with different ways of solving the problem or different ways of coming up with a new solution. So we had to give space to people and have the accountability. Make mistakes. I have no problem by you making mistakes. We all learn from our mistakes. Everybody knows that and everybody says that. But we cannot let people feeling that they are scared to make a decision or take a step forward or take a step back. And that's even more courageous to say, guys, I did something wrong. I think I need to change that. That's how powerful you need to keep your people. They have to be safe in telling you, I did a mistake. And this is where organizations actually try to move from point A to point B and try to be better than what it used to be.
You know, that ability to be empowered, and then you talk about having measurements in place. So in a sense, that can be the judge or the feedback mechanism. The fact that the measures aren't moving forward rather than you having to whine or kick or push. It's like you find your way to get there. But I think the framing that you shared with me once before is that they have to be shown what the results are. Maybe shown and shamed sometimes.
I like this word. I always use that word, show and shame. At the beginning, again,
I don't want to be on the shame list, that's for sure.
No, again, it's a journey. When you want to change culture, sometimes you need to use your muscles.
Yes.
You need to use the stick, if I can put it this way. But because it's a legacy, people have been doing what they're doing for quite some time. Comfort zone. Nobody's going to ask about what am I doing. I'm going to get my salary at the end of the month without even producing. And literally, it could be right or wrong, because either they don't have work, or nobody told them what to do, or what is the outcome that I expect from you, or they're just lazy. And your fingers are not the same. So you always have the good people, the bad people, and that's normal. But when we started drilling down and understanding what are the important projects or initiatives or enablers that we need to do, I started having a monthly meeting with all, not only leadership, even in 1, 2, and 3, on monthly basis, going through every single project, everyone talking about where is this project, what's the outcome so far, and what are we expecting, and if he needs any push or assistance, or he's not doing his job, without giving them the safety as well. You didn't do it? Okay, let's try another time. But everybody knows what everybody's doing. And this also comes from your internal belief that I'm being put on the spot. I have to do my job, because at the end of the day, performance management is coming in. It took me about a year and a half to change that.
I see.
It wasn't instantly, because it's a mindset change. Mindset, you cannot just change it. It's not an on and off switch. You need to change, and that's not a culture. Culture, we're still changing in the culture. Culture, we moved a lot from a culture point of view, but people started understanding what is required from them. People understanding what is the higher objective. It's not me, it's us now. If we fail, or you fail, we all fail. If you win or succeed, we're all succeeding.
You know, can be very difficult when everyone may, over time, for good reason or not such great reasons, many departments are doing the same function. And so you're bringing them to the table to decide to have a better outcome. How do you manage people's sense of self-concept and competition to decide, okay, I'll let that go if you let this go, and we'll have a better outcome?
This was always one of the issues that we always face, again, from a collaboration point of view.
Yes.
Excuse me. So a lot of the projects that we work on are either with collaboration with stakeholders, other entities, or collaboration within the same department. You might have a unit with the competitiveness team, with the SME team. Who takes the lead? Who takes the responsibility? Who supports and who leads? So we had to have a charter, to be honest with you.
You have the decision rights.
Exactly. And who is going to be accountable for it? And then you have your own PMO, the project management team that manages, because we were thrown, I don't want to say we were thrown in the deep end, but we had a lot of projects happening at the same time to take us where we wanted to go from a direction point of view. And you had to have a team to actually monitor and look at these projects, even though these projects could be big or small, but they all are complementing to each other. So we had to have that visibility group to look at these projects. Accountability was very important. And if fail, we fail. We all fail. Together. If we succeed, we all succeed. But there is one decision making. There has to be somebody that's going to make that call. Either we go left or we go right. You are accountable for it. And that's why having that collective failure or success was very important also from a mindset point of view.
That's a big
It's not like Mohammed is failed. No, it's my department failed. Success is not Mohammed's, it's the department. I don't care who takes the credit. I always tell this to my team, and all of them, they say that. I don't care who takes the credit. My only objective is get this done, because it's an Abu Dhabi play. It's an Abu Dhabi leadership's requirement. At the end of the day, it's a collective. I cannot do it alone. My team cannot do it alone. Other entities cannot do it alone. It is a collective approach. And that's why sometimes we faced problems with projects. You could be the owner of the transaction, okay? I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say now I'm trying to attract a company to come and license in Abu Dhabi. For this company to operate in Abu Dhabi, they need to get other approvals. Not only from the Department of Economic Development, they need to get approvals from Department of Tourism, maybe, or Department of Municipality, or the police, or whatever. But who owns this process? It is Department of Economic Development. My process is not only to give him a license. My process is to get all his approvals done at the right time, at the right price, with the least requirements for him to open my business here. So I have to go and run after the other entities to get his job done.
You're the advocate.
Advocate. And this was also problematic at the beginning because everybody says, that's not my job. This is what I do. This is what you do. Yeah, but you need to have somebody that has that overall visibility and accountability again. So we took that accountability on ourselves. Nobody came and told us, listen, you're responsible about all this. Again, from an HR point of view and people or human capital point of view, the same mentality has to be entrusted in the culture of the organization. It is all of us. Someone has to collaborative, someone has to take the decision, but we all are accountable for the outcome.
That's powerful. So let me ask you a final question here. And since we have an audience of people who are in HR and many fields and departments, I think it's particularly poignant. If you were to look back at your career and think about what you wish you did or what you wish you knew at the beginning of your career that you know today, and maybe fold in there something about the experience of having coaching. I feel quite honored to be your partner.
Yeah, he's my coach as well. So he's been giving me a lot of insights, Mark, and thank you for that. You've always been a brother, not only a coach. Thank you. I'll be honest with you, people are everything. Really, people are everything. Because they are the tools that you can get things done. Not only done from practical meaning of doing. Digital transformation comes and goes. Every day there is a new technology that helps us within our human capital space. But without people as well, physical people and their thinking and their decision making and their collaboration, again, I always try to stress on collaboration. You will never move. You can get the best digital system in the world, but you don't have the right mindset. That's not going to help you. It's not about investing into IT. It is very important, I have to say, but the people that are working on this platform or using that platform are important to change their mindset. Again, it starts from the top. It cannot, and every leader has his own traits, culture, changes that he wants to do. Could be good and could be bad. Again, it is very important for people to collaborate together. When I was in the private sector, probably it was easier for me, okay, because I was my own boss, yes. I had over 6,000 people working for me in different sectors. When I came into the government, it was, yes, there are things that has to be done by the book, which is okay, but the book is not the Bible, it's not the Quran. You can change that book, provided that you have the right to change it, or go to the leadership and try to change it, because this is hindering our development. So to answer your question very bluntly, would I have changed anything? No, I'll be honest with you. But I think I should have asked for help earlier.
Asking for help.
And this is probably another, would have shortened the time, but I think when people tell you I'm here to help you, use it. It is not something that it is under you. It is something that I believe is something that will help you. Because a lot of people came to me at the beginning, Mohammed, if you need our assistance. I said, no, from a pride point of view, I can do it. Took me time until I did it, yes, but if I took that help, took their hand, I think this is what I would have, what would I have done is to take their assistance.
Well, I'm so inspired by the journey that you've taken, both the courage to get help, but also the courage to make change happen for everybody in your organization.
Still a long way to go, but alhamdulillah, we are on the right track as far as I see it. But I think there's still more areas to tackle.
Well, I think we should give His Excellency a big round of applause for such a frank and wonderful
Thank you.
opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.